they might not have the biggest names out there, but they pick what's going to fit their style, and they base it all entirely off of stats. You know, I think Fishman even shared a story from back at the, I want to say, regional qualifiers, where in Game 3 of their series against Secret, Fishman felt like Omni Knight was the play with their last overall pick. They checked Pro Tracker, they saw that Jakiro had a better win rate against the heroes that they were up against, they picked the Jakiro, and then they qualified a TI because they swept the regional qualifiers. You know,
Turn to pick.
Fishman as well has come out and said, look, Chen had a 60% win rate in pubs, I wasn't a great Chen, I was determined to learn the hero because I might lose MMR, but I'm going to learn Chen and be good in Pro Dota, which is what he really cares about. So that's the thing that they're going to be looking out for most. They're going to lean heavily into the stats, and that's something that their coach Metrum is going to provide them. But
5 seconds remaining.
Something a little different in the Shadow Fiend. Sorry, not the Primal Beast coming through here. What opposition they're going to be running this with?
Naga Siren.
Oh, very interesting. Naga getting picked up. So we said this is more than likely a pure Shadow Fiend, and there is potential for it to be played on Stormstormer. The Naga, I'm not sure yet. They can definitely put it in another role as well. So we could see some crazy shenanigans come out here from Entity.
Beastcoast.
Yeah, we saw during the last chance qualifiers, Wildcard were running the position 5 Naga. Much less likely to happen now that we see the Disruptor come out. But I think it's something that you're able to, if you're able to get away with it as a position 1 against these heroes. Again, Nyx, Silencer, don't deal with push at all. So I think we could definitely look to see a Naga just completely take over the map, keep it pushed in, and you know that that's what a Disruptor wants, right? You want a Disruptor, you want to be playing into the enemy team's side of the map, not running away. And that's what someone like a Naga enables. Even Shadow Fiend to a lesser extent, with just being able to shove out a lane with the Shadow Razors.
This is a really scary win, and importantly be able to find the Silencer's position in the team fights as well. So I like this from Beastcoast. The hero deals very well with illusions. One that C-Smile is incredibly comfortable on. He thrives on the Pangolier, can get to the Disruptor, can kind of help out with controlling the Shadow Fiend as well through the middle of the fight. So I do like this answer a lot from Beastcoast. What are your thoughts on the Naga potentially being a position 3 or even a 4 here? Like where do you really think this is going to go? Because I don't think it's going to be played as a 1 into the Primal Beast lane.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like Shadow Fiend's good in the Primal Beast lane? I guess the Razors kind of slowing him down a little bit does help things, but I don't know exactly where this Naga's going to go. Like, I think it's really good against the supports that they've got, but maybe now that they've baited out this Pango, that, you know, it's still a relatively solid pick all throughout. You know, it enables the team fight quite heavily, but maybe they just don't feel as confident in picking it now as a core, or at least the main core. And I was mentioning before that Toby, his style of playing is, you know, the Beastmaster, the Lycan, the Visage. Naga might be able to provide a similar sort of thing, just a little slower, I guess, if there was any word to use around.
Yeah, his micro is incredible. That's kind of why I brought up the potential of like this being a 3 or some crazy stuff, because Katomi plays some wild stuff as well. So
5 seconds remaining.
Very intrigued on what's going to come out from Entity. They do have the 23rd pick, and we see Beastcoast trying to cover their tracks with the Bloodseeker ban. Rupture would have completely nullified the Pango and the Primal Beast in a lot of these fights.
Entities.
I still feel like, especially if you're playing it as a 3 and you're not playing as greedy on the Naga Siren, this is an amazing game for an Aghanim Scepter for Naga. You know, you can get it onto the Pango while he's rolling, enable the Shadow Fiend to just right-click him down. Same sort of thing with a Primal Beast, right? You just net him in place, and then what can you do once the BK Beast pops?
A lot of minus armor, Corrosive Haze, Riptide, Presence of the Dark Lord.
And then Marcy buffing up your damage.
Yep. There's a very scary lineup that they have to deal with. You probably need an Agi carry for Beastcoast, someone who's got a crap load of built-in armor.
5 seconds remaining.
Can they terribly? Terribly feels awkward in dynamic.
Against the Naga, it feels awkward too, especially if it's a core Naga. Left, I mean, Entity seem like they're pretty confident. They're going to go to Sven. All right, some armor for the entire team, not just for the one. Don't hate it. And again, it's this is what Hector really loves to play. You know, he loves his strength position 1s. You know, obviously everyone knows him for the Wraith King, but this is 101 4K1 coming through. The basic Dota for himself. a off-lane Pango and a mid-primal beast for this one as well.
Okay.
And we are going to see that off-lane Naga Siren as well. I'm keen to see how they're able to make it work. Position 1 Slardar, we were mentioning that this might also be a factor. We get into the later stages of the group stage, and Storm are playing the Shadow Fiend mid. All right, I'm interested. I want to see how this all shapes up, because I'm all ears, Entity. You know, you've been scrimming, you've been trialing this stuff out. Let's see if it works in the real deal.
Yeah, something that Pure has been playing in the pub, so we'll see how this slider is going to be able to shape up. I mean, the potential for the late game amplification is incredible, and a very, very good laner as well. I think always one of Slardar's weaknesses is how you're able to keep up in farm, so this really looks ideal. I wonder if we're going to get a lot more Slardars now, because something you were mentioning towards the start of the Last Chance qualifiers, where you were saying it was going to be like 2 off-lane side laners in a way, and then you have kind of the win condition mid, where we're seeing, you know, the Morph lane of that stage get played mid pretty often. The leaners were getting picked up as well, along with the Shadow Fiends. And well, Slardar now being able to give a lot of farm to Pure can also kind of act as that playmaker and tempo setup to enable the Stormer to really be that true win condition as the game goes on. So this is going to be exciting to see, but do we feel like Beastcoast have the answers? Is there enough to be able to help out and fit into their lineup that Beastcoast are trying to play with?
I prefer the idea of Entity's draft. I just don't know the execution, because I can't remember the last time I've seen an off-lane Naga Siren come through. You know, the last off-laner that I've seen play Naga Siren was, I think, KP, back when he was on MVP Phoenix, and they swapped him to position 1 whenever he had the chance to play Naga, because his Naga's just that damn good, right? So we'll see what they're able to do with it, but I'm favoring them for now.
So I think there was a big advantage in the draft for Entity, again with a lot of the minus armor they were looking for, but until this Sven was picked up, I was worried, but maybe it's going to be able to help out now, because we were kind of said a very similar thing in the previous game with Katomi playing the Sven, be able to help out with some of the issues with the Pudge and the Leshrac. So I'm intrigued. But this is, again, position 1 Sven, so he's going to be prioritizing a lot more on farming instead of being with the team early on. Sure, in the mid-game, you'll be taking team fights, but not having armor until then could be a very, very big issue.
I mean, this is just the way that they play on Entity, right? They play around the, let's say, 30-ish minute timings, right, on the Slardar. The way that Pure loves to build the Slardar is treads into the Mask of Madness, with BKB, Moonshard, Axe. So he just wants to try and keep them away as much as possible, essentially pushing them up to the high ground. Yeah, essentially just completely take one person out of a team fight because of all of that attack speed that you've got.
Oh, look at the lane swap as well. Try and put Pure down bottom, which does get scouted out, so instantly going to be able to react to this for Beastcoast. Where are they looking to try and set up? Like, Pure will be going up against Whisper on the Pangolier by the looks of it.
Potential tri-lane to start things up here on the top side. Do they have anything to scout out this movement coming through from Zero? Like it just yet, but they've got a path by. One out. Tell me, has to be a little careful there, and actually doesn't connect. It was in too much of a worry. I mean, Naga Siren, insane movement speed, crazy armor, so early into the game. A lot of people have put Naga as their least deaths average for the entire tournament. Agrees with that?
I'm trying to remember what I put. I don't particularly remember. I kind of just flew through that. I had Naga in some of my predictions. What did you have? Do you agree with that?
I mean, sorry, top side. Never mind. See you later predictions. Just because most of the time it's being played as a 1, right? And you're using your illusions to push out, not really showing on the map. And if you lose, you're still probably not joining too many team fights, right? It takes a while for you to truly come online.
I had Primal Beast as mine. Because I, for some reason, see Primal Beast always going like 12 and 0 and minimal deaths. Katomi, there's another spawn from Gojira, so Katomi's okay for the moment. what do you, in regards to this tri lane more for Beastcoast, what do you feel like they're trying to get out of this? Are you looking to really enable K1? Are you avoiding a match shop? Are you wanting to try and shut down a hero in particular? What are they hoping out of this tri lane?
I suppose their mindset is, look, on the bottom side of the map, we're not really that concerned about dying on Whisper. And you ask a lot of pros, he is, in their opinion, the best player coming out of the entirety of SA. And so, on a hero like Pango that has plenty of ways to be able to create space, against a Slaughter, you're not overly concerned with dying in the laning phase, just because he's the rotations coming through here, so Stormstormer should be fine. And you could just look to use your abilities to last hit, and you're probably going to come out ahead in terms of that experience level. Getting up onto an early level 6 maybe means that you can make a rotation onto these heroes like the Naga, like the Shadow Fiend, and to really put them in the bid, because you can't be dying too many times early on these two.
Not at all. Not at all. Again, for Beastcoast, their game 1 lanes look very well, and it's looking to be a similar case here in game 2. Towards the final farm, you're expecting Whisper to have a little bit more difficult of a time being left solo. They might be able to catch Katomi out top. Now shoots to the rebound, is going to get some distance towards the tier 1 tower, so Katomi will be okay. He's got some tangos to play with.
By Toby for a second there, just using the mirror image meant that he wasn't actually a target for the rebound to be used to get away, but get underneath the safety of his tower. Almost going into speed, realizing the importance of just staying away from C-Smile as much as possible. Pretty good spot for him though. I mean, he's farming. 5 denies, 7 more last hits, farming underneath his tower. It's kind of to be expected.
Go Jiro, dude, no way. Oh, he should so escape. Do you see what he just did?
Nah, what happened?
He ran mid, just chucked out a meta burn. There was like a minor duration of the salve left from Stormstormer, who might be in trouble. See Smile, we're going to try and move on forward to block off the path from Stormstormer to be able to pick up the water rune, so I won't be able to refill the bottle. Yeah, Gojira just runs from top to mid, gets the bounty, uses the meta burn to stop the salve, which had barely any duration left, and the deny to creep in front of his face. Top lane? Stinger might go down here. They can turn it back around to Katomi with the use of the stun from K1. They might even hit back onto Toby as well. They've got a little bit more mana to work with here, so Sting up, chucking up the damage with the glaives.
Yeah, he just wants to give it
still on cooldown. Toby with the cleave. One more right click and they find it. The able to try and maybe drop an Iron Branch. Well, Toby won't even go for that. They've been able to cut through the trees and they will catch him out.
Getting some of that intelligence stolen as well. I mean, that's the thing with K1 there. He didn't really want to right-click. He didn't want the tower to turn onto him underneath the tower. The creeps were doing a good enough job. And as long as you're...
What is going on here?
As long as you're orb walking with the glaives there, the tower's never going to aggro onto you top side, though K1. A bit cautious here. Turn around.
Stinger. Ooh. I died very, very close. Well, mid lane, I think Fishman with the glimpse used defensively just to send C-Smile away, kept Stormstormer alive, almost got a big kill, which I don't think this lane's going to get a whole lot easier for Stormstormer, especially with the Pulverize coming up very shortly, so we see the supports playing defensively around him, because top lane, with his action continuing to break out. This time Katomi will live on 11 health.
K1's not the healthiest either though, so Toby needs to completely rotate back, but right now Toby, he's just focused on shoving these lanes out as much as he can, especially around the siege creep timing. Give it up for free, a little bit of experience that you can get, even just pulling it back underneath his tower to make sure that the creeps are dealt with ASAP. This is the time. I mean, how many times in the last chance qualifiers did we see Primal Beast rotated 3-4 minutes? Look to deal with this siege creep in the mid lane on C-Smile. Really does open up the opportunity for you to come up top with your ultimate. Start to open up the map more for Hector to be able to play with.
I wonder if there's even an argument for going down bottom, because with the Rolling Thunder being up shortly, like Pure is free farming, so if you can slow down his game, then it might be beneficial as well for Beastcoast. That's the nice thing at least for him. He can go to both side lanes and potentially find kills.
This movement without shoving out the mid lane first, though. Looks like he might just want to build up a stack for himself and go back to the mid lane. He's figuring it out, saying, come on,
Radiant's middle
notice
tower
me.
is under attack.
Figuring out that he was not necessarily there. Might expect that he's farming up some of these stacks inside the jungle. Last is
Radiant's bottom
uncharacteristic
tower is under attack.
by C-Smart. Yeah.
A deep dive, and that's where C-Smile can come into play with the TP. First use of the polarize of the game, nets himself a kill. Beautifully done, being able to protect Whisper, getting him that level 6.
Hey, one up top, though.
The top side of the map, Toby's going to be able to hold him back with the Insare, so Stormstormer can walk up forward to land the raise. A nice kill for the Shadow Fiend to find, considering mid lane has been a bit back and forth, so it's going to get a nice injection of gold, and they might even be able to catch up this Stinger. I don't blame you, honestly. Shadow Fiend and Amasi chasing you down. Another kill for Stormstormer, a freebie at that.
Lately, might even be able to start stacking up a few of these camps for himself as well. Just looking to get with a miss. Yep, this a stack off. Won't, but they'll more likely get a kill on Katomi instead, unless he just gets on out. You know, isn't it great? Isn't this fair? That's not enough.
Not bad. Oh,
Dire's
what a
top
great
tower
hero.
is under attack.
K1 is getting a ridiculous amount of farm up top. So we'll see what Beastcoast are able to do to continue to enable that. They haven't got any stacks at the moment. Do you feel like this is something that they might look to start to put a little bit more priority on here?
Potentially, but I want to see them put a bit more emphasis onto just taking that tier 1 tower top, just so that you can look to rotate back and forth between the Ancients camp as well as the top 2 camps on the side of the map to enable K1 a little bit more.
How many resources do you feel like they need to bring up top to try and secure that tower for Beastcoast?
I mean, no one really pushes that well on their team, right? So it's probably going to need to be around that siege creep timing. It's going to be at about the same stage that K1 has the God Strength back up and available again, that the siege creep reaches that area. So yeah, I would say about 10.5 minutes is when they're looking to rotate a few people. It's all about influencing the lanes in the next minute or so. No, that's what I was just saying. A kill onto Pure would do a great job at being able to do that, but he's just way too tanky at this stage.
I thought Whisper finished with the charge up the Rolling Thunder, but cancelled at the last second. You see, it's going to be Entity that are looking to play around with Pure. Level 7, so maxed out Bash. This is a hero that is incredibly strong. You cannot look to run up and man fight the starter, and they're going to bring some extra numbers though to still take the skirmish as Whisper will be able to bounce back. Even C-Smile gets a charge into the middle as well. Also a double kill picked up for Beastcoast. Let's see if they want to continue on to Pure. Already used a lot of their abilities though, so it will be difficult to go under the tower.
Under attack.
Being used, no Pulverize, no Rolling Thunder. They might miss out on a bit of that timing for the top side of the map that I was talking about. K1 was in position to be able to go for it and might get turned around upon here.
Stormstormer playing with a haste rune. Is able to line up perfectly with the triple raise. A big kill for them to find, considering how much net worth K1 is starting to build up on the Sven.
He's a farming machine, but time around he just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. The rest of his team had rotated down bot. There was no way for them to join, and I'm sure he was expecting them to help him take that T1 tower top, but good rotations coming through at the time. Toby, it's the 1 point in the ensnare, but that's still enough to enable Stormstormer, who's again having quite a solid game. Now I feel like you might have missed a little bit of your window, right? Like, with some of these kills coming through, like you mentioned, Pure hasn't differentiated from his build at all. Treads, Mask, into the Blink Dagger. Sure, it's going to be either a Moonshard or a BKB after that. And then it's just about running at the enemy team. And now you don't have quite as much space to be able to play around on Hector, so more of his farming patterns are going to be much more easily scouted out.
Even though both sides have missed that catapult timing, we're still going to have some actions here in the side lane surely. The supports are starting to get to the stage where they have the level 6, and we see that out of Entity. Both Fishman and Katomi wanted to try and target down Whisper, but Stinger is nearby with a global silence. He's going to be able to get it off just after the fallout from Katomi, so a couple of ultimates expended, but it will be Beastcoast that get a kill nonetheless.
Dire's
I think
top
you're very
tower
happy with
is
that.
under
And
attack.
just look at what happens at the same time. This is what I was talking about in game number 1 with K1. They're thinking about they really want to try and get the net in onto him.
Radiant's
Might
middle
need to pop
tower
the song
is
of Siren to catch.
DPs are starting to come through. There's the song. Whisper gets the ultimate off. Should be a decent amount of damage if you get the fall. Pure's going to be able to sidestep with the once.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Beastcoast, they're going to
attack.
bring some more resources as well to try and take this top skirmish, but even Entity are taping another member in as well. Pure's vulnerable to the damage at the moment. Starter going to try and carve his way through the tree line. He might tick out to the curse. Let's see if the damage is going to be enough. Pure actually looks to step back in. The lifesteal's not enough to keep him alive. So now Beastcoast, they've got a free opening to continue to dive under the tower. Whisper's going to go for Fishman, and meanwhile K1 will try and catch up the Toby as well because they got C Smile wrapping on the other side. Beautifully done from Beastcoast, getting 3 kills and now finally being able to take the T1 tower.
Just took them that little bit too long to try and secure that one onto K1. Maybe if they pop the song a little bit earlier, you're able to allow the team to connect before he's inside the trees. He's not quite as close to his team's tower, so they can look to assist. It was just a couple of times now that the silence coming through from the silencer is just that little bit too late.
It's interesting that the song doesn't stop the charge up of the Rolling Thunder.
It was a little bit
looked
after,
like
I thought.
Oh, okay. I saw it on the very edge then, so I wasn't quite sure. Okay, there you go, never mind. 2,000 net worth lead here for Beastcoast, and again, K1 still flawless in this game, and this is exactly what a Sven needs. Like, this hero thrives on being at least one item ahead of your opposition's cause.
Absolutely looks to do that. They find a solid pick-off onto the Marcy. That's on the back of this ward inside of the Entity ancient camp area. So they see Stormstormer farming. They see no one else looking to back him up. Able to get these solo pick-offs. You don't want to let a Marcy to scale into the later stage. It eventually becomes a 4th core for the team if you enable that. Stormer, careful here. Smoke, they'll be able to catch him out as he retreats back, and this is where the charge starts to come through.
It's a great ward to utilize. They know no one else is playing around the triangle. An easy kill picked up onto Stormstormer. Kitomi and Fishman should be able to at least get one rebuttal. They're even going to be able to glimpse back a second member as well as Gojira. Just so much damage getting pumped in thanks to the unleash onto Kitomi. So at least we'll get 2 kills and Kitomi picks both of them up. So getting himself closer to that real big item here in the BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under
Lost the
attack.
2 heroes and the Observer Ward that was scouting out for that kill attempt, but Shadow Fiend, of course, one of those heroes that really needs to prioritize not dying every single time that you fall down. The Necromastery, all those souls get removed away, so it just takes a little bit of time for you to pick up your farming efficiency again, and that's a K1. Now 2,000 net worth ahead of his next closest
Radiant
competitor.
are scanning.
I'm still concerned for Beastcoast, even though they have this 2,000 net worth lead, that I feel like late game the Entity should be very, very comfortable with the minus armor and the fact that you can just... There's no way you're going to be able to deal with the Corrosive Haze. You can easily kill off the Rolling Thunder target. You can even go Nullifier if the Warcry is a big issue. So I think this BKB timer, you need to really get it soon and to be able to get multiple kills and objectives across the map here for Beastcoast. If they miss that timing, I'm slightly concerned.
Look forward to do it though. Actually, a Meteor Hammer here on Toby.
It's a trouble. It's not a good position to be in when you're against the Pangolier. But I'm going to bounce back and forth onto multiple walls, and even see Smile just clips the Disruptor as well by the Secret Shop. So 2 pickoffs again into another tier 1 tower as all 5 members are here from Beastcoast to be able to capitalize on the kills.
And K1 just spent the entire time farming while being nearby as well. So popping the God String, taking some camps, pushing the lane, taking the tower. This is the Beastcoast that we come to expect. The freestyle Dota coming in full effect. They want to try and catch Katomi. Fusel Blade's going to do a lot of work to be able to prevent the escape away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Which is big. This is what they need to continue doing. Playing active very early on. Starting to get some objectives and take the map control out of Entity's favor. It's a bit more of a greedier lineup here from Dire. There's time and space to come online, and now without all their tier 1 towers to protect their jungle, these guys can look to invade and try and stem out the economy that Entity are trying to pick up.
We see you.
They'll do a pretty good job of it. I mean, the Bottom lane is kind of pushed in towards them, so I suppose Pure can just spend that next little bit of time trying to farm it. The BKB available for himself, and going into the Blink Dagger, it does kind of feel like they need that blink before they can make an aggressive attempt, because there's no real gap close that they've got outside of the Marcy right now, but good enough, maybe wanting to play around that Roche bit, find a pick off in the general vicinity and find someone without buyback, because the objective will melt. They're able to find the correct pick off. Very good positioning though. Around with the Vendetta.
Oh no, the illusion. Oh no, they're gonna go for the other illusion as well now. The Beastcoast, they want to take the team fight, a big charge into the middle with a global sound pop as well. K1 can look to clean up Pure. He needs the movement speed, and no, it's actually gonna be Whisper with a swashbuckle to claim the life. Gojira might get Storm Soul up, but the stun still on cooldown. This Beastcoast net worth lead continues to grow.
Does. They're not really in a position to Roche, but that's not the objective they want. They want this tier 2 tower. They want to secure even more space on the map for K1 to be able to farm, and odd lanes haven't really been working out too well for Entity so far. You know, the Disruptor, not the strongest in the laning stage. Felt like it was okay for Pure, but that lane paired together with the Marcy and the Nagasar, and just essentially zero synergy coming through there, and actually picking this one out. They feel like they can take it themselves. I suppose. The lucky shot, minus armor.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Underneath 2 wards though. No ultis. Literally 0.
I am very impressed with what Whisper's been able to do so far in this game. Into the slaughter, it's a very tricky lane matchup. We saw Pure was pretty much free farming, but Whisper is flawless. 6-0-6. He's picked up this diffuser blade, having a lot of impact through the team fight. Second in net worth. I think he's been a really good component on why they have this net worth lead.
Yeah, for sure. And even someone like C-Smile, right? He's got the plate mail queued up, realizing how important it's going to be for him to be that front line. Because you've gotten to the stage where Sven, he's incredibly farmed, and actually probably wanting to join the team right now as the DD wears off, but he picks up the Blink Dagger, so now you can actually follow up on a lot more of these aggressive attempts. You can individually look for pickoffs onto almost anyone, I feel. Armed as Hector is, he can probably just kill someone within a God's strength.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, because you don't really have the armor on Gaia, do you? Like Marcy, little bit coming through things to the phase boots, disrupt as you fall. So if you're on to Fishman, he's not going to be alive for too long. Bottom lane, Stingers. Oh, use of a global silence very early on. Sun's going to be off the mark, and Empty actually going to bring the reinforcements to take the team fight. Pure can turn it back around with the BKB. Doesn't get the initial stun, so C-Smart's going to protect it for the moment thanks to the pulverized use. Get a 1-for-1. A bit committed though from Beastcoast.
Trying like mad on Pure as well, just to right-click into that pulverize, trying to break it to the Marcy, realizing how important it is for Katami to stay alive. Just having a look at the item build, sorry, the spell build as well. He looked to max out that sidekick immediately. They realize how important it is to just enable them to look the man fight. But right now, there's nothing really holding them in place to allow Stormstormer to right-click. It really wouldn't surprise me if he was towards the bottom end of the total damage done to him.
Yeah, for him in particular, just continuing to try and work towards his farm. Dicko, that BKB is the second item. We haven't seen the first usage out of it for the Shadow Fiend, but we might see it shortly because Beastcoast still with just under 3 minutes left on the Aegis here on C-Smile. They're going to look to try and get the last outer tower of the game.
Radiant's top tower is under
I
attack.
reckon about this meme hammer build on Toby. And then he's going into the Wraith Pack.
Top lane, C-Smile. Scan on the invis. Stormstormer's probably going to have to BKB TP. Well, we won't know, of course, with C-Smile's extra advantage that he has. Can he shoot through the treatment? Oh, he's going to find him. And he TP'd before the BKB. He's going to try and do as much right-click damage as possible. Pure is nearby. Let's see the power of the Corrosive Haze along with the Shadow Fiend right-clicks, but it looks like it's not enough. One stun into the follow-up drag back thanks to the Aghanim Shard.
Nope.
They will get the kill at the Aegis, at least, from the Death Requiem. Minor thing. They're cutting off Pure though. Stinger's gonna walk up the high ground. The rest of the team off to the right side as well. So Pure should get a kill. See if he can TP out afterwards, and the BKB will be able to cover that.
Whisper, He's got the basher coming out to him very shortly, so BKB TPs won't be as much of an issue in the near future, but they're feeling comfortable enough to keep pushing, and they actually don't have a glyph for another 3.5 minutes. So K1 with the God Strength, if he wants to pop it, just look to invade. They want to force some rotations coming through, and it absolutely needs to be accomplished here. Look at that aggressive one.
Yeah, K1 is like, alright, let's just pop a BKB for the Disruptor. Let's get another member into the grave to secure this push.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Back off though, still respecting the Shadow Fiend. The amount of times that Storm has been dying, it's only a couple of times, but again, it just puts you so far behind being able to take that next team fight. I'm sure he's saying to Pure, look, bro, I know you're the carry, but I need my souls. And right now, we have one tier 2 tower to play with, so there's not really too many places out on the map that I can look to play with. Even just Toby, right? He's taking away this Ancients area, but you're an Argosari. You could be using your mirror images to push out waves and perhaps farm the more dangerous areas of the enemy jungle. Prioritize giving over the quote-unquote safer farm to this Shadow Fiend, to this Lana.
It does feel like Entity are very close to being able to take a team fight where they might have some strength here. With this BKB almost completed on Marcian and Toby just completing the Wraith Pact as well for some help with the damage mitigation. We'll see if these items are going to be enough for them.
I still really wanted him to get that early Aghanim Scepter though on Toby. That's the big issue that I was talking about with the Meteor Hammer before. I know, of course, it enables you to farm and stay out on the map and all that jazz, but I feel like this is what Beastcoast were looking to play around, this sort of timing here.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah, he's got it queued up. He's got it queued up now on Toby, but like you said, it just might be a little bit too late. Good name, Whisper. Look at that, just Disruptor again. If you are out of position, they're just going to commit everything to try and bring one member down. Because when you're this far behind, you really need all 5 members on Entity to help with this defense. And top lane, they're even setting up. 2 TPs. Jura along with Whisper. Oh, they didn't get any bashes. Regiro should be able to still close the distance shortly. If Pure doesn't TP out now, you're going to have another round of the Swashbuckler, so there shouldn't be any escape. It's just going to come down to how long it really takes for Beastcoast to try and get the kill. Again, no bashes coming off the Swashbuckler. That's twice now, and he can blink away. Really unlucky is Beastcoast. C-Smile's going to be there. They'll use the song with K1. Jumps behind, no hesitation with the BKB. They'll stop the song. It'll help the rest of the team to dance into the tree line and finally kill off Pure.
Oh, they do indeed, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of karma, right? They wanted to have that really effective team fight. Their movement was really solid, super coordinated as well. No bashes, but no cares. They're just going to look to pressure up onto this high ground again.
Dire's middle tower.
No God Strength to be able to take this one a little bit faster, but they know that they use that big setup potential with the Song of the Sirens, so they're not really all that concerned about grouping up a little bit. They're even going to find another pick-off.
My dishonor shall be avenged.
It's the buyback as well from Fishman. They'll get nothing out of it. East Coast. Another T3 tower will end up going down. They haven't been able to crack the barracks just yet. 1 minute 30 until the potential of Roche spawns. That's going to be important for them to look to control the top jungle. Get themselves set up here for the second Roche of the game.
Radiant are scared.
Very supportish oriented, but I assume that K1's going to look to go the +10 Warcry armor at level 20 just to provide a lot of additional survivability to the rest of his team. Pumps that with the AC, they're just going to have so much potential to be able to contest into this. I don't think you're even all that concerned about Pure at that stage. He looks to go for a bit more of an aggressive build as well, like with the move chart as opposed to the AC, but feels like they're just trying to wait to the later stages, maybe hope that Beastcoast try and overextend inside of their own base. But see Smile showing solo-ish in the lane. Try and get a pick off, but they just can't seem to find the right one.
Oh, there's a DD as well. The fight that Entity we're looking to take, now you have to try and force some engagement into a double damage rune on K1, and he gets a double stun in the river as well, but the follow-up is there thanks to Whisper's control. 2 heroes just melt under this, and now Toby as well is caught out. Beastcoast everywhere across the map. They're even thinking about the use of the song to cover the retreat, but no messing around. We're seeing our global silence coming out fast enough, and K1's going to be rewarded for a triple kill.
This is 2 laser racks minimum, and they're just going to push on forward. No buybacks available, no glyph.
Dire's
Nothing
middle
to be
barracks
able
is
to
under attack.
backdoor the waves. So
Dire's middle
I doubt
barracks
they go
is
for
falling.
throw. I think it's more inclined to take the safer route. And
Dire's
the way that
middle
they're looking to
barracks
play around, they
is
just see
falling.
there. Pops the war cry, and then suddenly Whisper goes all the way up to 55
Dire's
armor.
top
Even
barracks are
Gajira
under
39,
attack.
so
Dire's top barracks has
insane amount of
fallen.
survivability that you're able to obtain.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
I don't ever see another fire, and it's going to take way too long with Entity for that to be a potential pure. Trying to get the jump in there. No, the B can be reduced prior on K1, so they want to try and commit to deal with this Fen. Static Storm's going to be laid down as well with a long Requiem, but it's just there's no synergy at the moment. The spells are being casted, but not perfectly executed. Toby is going to try and get the meteor combo out, but C-Smell in a position where he can just protect K1, and this should be all she wrote. They wanted one last team fight, one last ride. The Beastcoast being able to tie up the series 1-1. A really convincing game 2 from them.
Even more convincing than what Entity showed in game number 1, right? 3 minutes faster overall, and it really does feel like they tried to go for something a little bit fancy with that offlane Naga Siren, and I understand why, but